There we go. Good Monday morning to everybody, or I could say y'all, right? Y'all. Kelly Clarkson?
Y'all? I mean, or Beyonce for her.
Oh, good point. You know what? We're going to talk about that today. Curt and Jen, the podcast, Curt and Jen in the Morning. Thank you for being here. Like, follow, subscribe, all the things. We'd love to have you do that. And we've got a lot going on today. Let's get into what's going to be happening on the big show.
Well, first, I'd like to mention that it's National Carrot Cake Day, Curt.
Okay.
We're going to update you on the Grammys. There's a TikTok influencer that says you should rub this all over your face. That's what he said.
How about the most dangerous condiments? I didn't know the condiments were dangerous at all.
They are if they're in your fridge.
Evidently they are. Also, stock up on broccoli and cauliflower for the big game.
Okay. We've got the question of the day. Age yourself with a business no longer in town. Which can I just tell you? It's going to be a trip down like nostalgic lane when we read through these. If you're from the Pacific Northwest and maybe even from Portland.
I wish that I could have had some that were from a little longer ago, but I haven't been here as long as you. But I got a couple good ones too to share.
So good.
Finally, how big is too big for TVs? And if you ever wonder how much people get paid to play in a Super Bowl, we have that answer and a whole lot more. The ever popular a whole lot more in there as well. Okay,
well, we do have a whole lot more. It's true. We
okay.
True.
True this time.
Let's start with your weekend.
Oh, well, I forgot the thing.
What thing?
Well, here you go. And usually people are like, well, that's a big deal. My lovely wife, Dana, was not feeling so hot this weekend. And she said, you know what? I don't have any NyQuil. Could you go get me some NyQuil, babe?
Oh.
I said, yeah, sure, I can. She's like, also while you're out, because she's like, feeling kind of down. And she's like, do we have anything like, sweet or sugary in the house? And I was like, I don't think so. I was like, well, could I get some Oreos and chocolate chip cookies and some Doritos? Like, yes.
Nothing goes with NyQuil like Doritos and Oreos.
So off I go to Safeway, and I while I'm there, I also got her a little thing of Talenti ice cream and some other stuff, and came back home with no NyQuil. I know, the one thing I was supposed to get. Dummy.
So you went back to the store and got it for her?
Of course I did, but I thought, what a dope.
Oh my gosh,
Kurt. Total brain fart. What about you? What happened? You told me you got mad yesterday about something.
Oh my God. We had Riley's 21st family birthday lunch.
Your daughter?
She turned 21 last month.
Right.
But we did not have a chance to celebrate with the family. And that's part of our tradition. You get to pick whatever meal you want, and we'll invite the family over and have a little family meal.
That's fair.
So she wanted Monte Cristo sandwiches, which are a labor of love. And we even put some aside and did some special with only turkey because my mom's trying to watch her sodium level. And I know that this other person that's coming to not be named doesn't like pork. So I'm like, okay, we'll just do some turkey only sandwiches.
Right. Because the Monte Cristo is turkey and ham, and then the bread is soaked in the egg stuff, right?
Well, only this one, this is going to sound weird. It's actually, we do these with pancake batter. It's delicious.
Weird at all. Sounds awesome.
Anyway, so people are arriving. Great. We're almost ready to serve lunch. And this one person comes in and says, the one person of the two people I made special sandwiches for comes in and says, that's what we're having? I thought we were having lasagna. I'm like, there was never any mention of lasagna. This is what Riley's wanted for her birthday meal for a while. We get them like maybe once a year. And she's like, I'm going to go out and get myself something to eat. I'm going to go. And then she starts talking to Macy about it. Like, Macy, because I knew Macy didn't like it, but I was planning on Macy. Macy's just a very picky eater, my youngest daughter. So they actually left the house and went to get something else to eat at a restaurant and brought it back to the house to eat.
On her sister's birthday party.
Right. To me, that is the rudest. Like, I had a talk with Macy. I gave Macy some grace around this. The person that did it, though, no. That is really effing rude. And I just had to let it go. I practiced the Mel Robbins let them theory, but man, I was fired up.
That's kind of a punk ass move to make during your sister's birthday party.
Well, I didn't blame Macy as much because she kind of got sucked into it, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I gave Macy a little talking to, like, I'm gonna give you some grace around here, but if your sister left your birthday party, you'd be hurt. That's number one. And number two, here's a little life lesson for you. Here's some etiquette. If you go to a party, there's gonna be times when you don't like things to eat. Take a little nibble. I'm sure you can find at least one thing that you can deal with. Have a little beverage. And then if you're still hungry when you leave the party, then you go eat. You don't leave and go get some fast food and bring it back to the house to eat.
Not
No.
cool. Good job, Mom. We also, Dana and I blew it big time yesterday because we had plans to go have brunch with friends, right?
Yeah, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a couple neighbors and Dana and myself are going to go down to Brianna's Cafe.
Right down the street from you guys.
Just on the street. And I said to Dana, I was like, what time was the lunch again? And she's like, she wasn't feeling as poorly at this time. She was ill later in the day. She's like, oh, we're meeting at 2. And I was like, that seems kind of late for brunch, but all right, okay, whatever. I was like, did you check with everybody to make sure that we're, because we made these plans a couple weeks ago. Yeah, everybody's still in. And then we get a text at 12:40. Where are you guys? And she's like, oh crap, it was at 12:30. Yeah. So
well, at least it's close to you and you were only like 20 minutes late.
25, yeah. So, but still, what was ironic about it, and I didn't give her a hard time about it. Whatever. Sometimes you're late. I mean, and if you're me, often you're late. But this time it wasn't on me, although I still got blamed. That was the strangest thing.
I just want to mention one more thing that I did. I talked about this. I think it was on Friday's podcast, the Too Good to Go app, the TOO Good to Go app. It's like this food rescue program. I used it for the first time on Saturday, and I bought a mystery box from Seatown Sweets in Kenmore, which I'd never even heard of before. So it introduced me to a new store, local business. Went in, they were super friendly. They had my little box ready. So I got in my car to open it up to see what was inside, and I had this delicious sprinkle cookie, 2 cupcakes, and this like blueberry bread. And it was all for $6.
That's what I was going to say. How many dollars were involved? $6 for all that?
Yes, as part of this food rescue program. It was decent.
That's right. Because this was you mentioned this before. Correct me if I already mentioned this, but this is where they take the leftover food and rather than throw it away. And someplace, like you said, sometimes you said they will donate it to food shelters and stuff, which is great. But
for sure.
All right. So you recommend this thing, $6. You got a bunch of good sweets.
Yeah. It was really great. And there's all kinds, I mean, it's not just sweets on the app. There's all kinds of different stores and restaurants.
Goodness.
Restaurants. Yeah, it's goodness.
Okay.
Yummy goodness, Curt. There you go.
All right. Talk about the Grammys a bit.
You watched last night. I missed it.
Well, I watched in between watching the Kraken game, which we lost.
I'm going to do spoiler alert because last night before I went to bed, I was like, crap, I missed watching the Grammys. So I went to look just to see what some of the highlights were. And my jaw dropped when I saw this. It was Beyonce wins Country Album of the Year.
That's right.
And I'm like, oh, because remember, there was so much controversy when she came out with that Cowboy Carter album. I feel like there was in the country music scene, right? Like Beyonce does this kind of music. She doesn't do country. This isn't real country.
Right. That's what people were saying. But of course, since it's Beyonce and since she does everything to the umpteenth degree, there she goes, winning the Best Country Album of the Year award. And not just that, also the Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter.
She had 11 nominations this year. She was tied with the most nominations ever for Grammys. She was tied with her husband, Jay-Z, at 88. This obviously pushed her ahead. So she's been nominated 99 times and won 35 times. Like, she is the queen of music.
And it seemed, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time she got an Album of the Year.
It is. Yeah.
And I think she was up for that one like 5 times. So nice going, Beyonce.
Yeah.
Other things to mention. Song of the Year and Record of the Year went to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Best New Artist, Chappell Roan, which made me happy.
Yeah, and then Best Pop Vocal Album was Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter.
You know, if you're interested in more, there are entire lists of everything you can possibly imagine. Producer of the Year, whatever.
Yeah, and you can also get the all of the highlights on YouTube. That's where I got most of them. You know, Chappell Roan, she I don't know if you heard her acceptance speech. She actually shouted out and she called out the labels. Yeah, for not providing health insurance. Health insurance and guaranteed stuff because you don't think about that. It's like, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, you get up there and they give you a record deal. But guess what? There's nothing in the meantime. Yeah.
You need some dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what else was cool at the Grammys? I don't know if you saw this part, was the Grammys honored firefighters. Of course, so many brave men and women fighting the California wildfires, the LA fires. The Grammys alone raised more than $7 million for the victims of those
So
fires.
good. Yeah, they had him up. They are the ones that actually announced the album of the year and brought Beyonce up, announced her as the winner. And then
as a little, maybe you don't remember this, but I actually liked watching. There's a band you may not have heard of called Dawes, DAWAS. California band. They had a few minor hits, but they both of the members, it's a two-piece, two brothers, and both of them lost their houses in the fire as well. But they were there, and they led an all-star band. I'm trying to think of who was in that band. It was incredible. Let me see. It was John Legend. Give me a second. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. John Legend was singing. Sheryl Crow was in there. St. Vincent was in there. A few other people, and they did "I Love L.A." Randy Newman's old song. They rearranged the lyrics a little bit to make it more focused on the firefighters. So that was a really cool moment in the Grammys. And $7 million, nothing to sneeze at, you know?
Yeah.
They did all right.
They did. Love it.
All right.
That was
quick.
the Groundhog. Well, it was Groundhog Day yesterday.
Right.
So that means they bring out the groundhog and see if he sees his shadow. What is it? If he sees his shadow, there's 6 more weeks of winter. But if he doesn't, then spring will start.
And everybody's heard of Punxsutawney Phil, which we discussed on Friday. We thought, yeah, he's the only groundhog. That's ground zero for groundhogs. Turns out that there's not only other groundhogs that do these predictions on Groundhog's Day, they are also more accurate than Punxsutawney Phil. So we have Punxsutawney Phil, for the record, did see his shadow yesterday, which means, according to Punxsutawney Phil, 6 more weeks of winter. But the most accurate groundhog, who is called Staten Island Chuck, did not see his shadow, and he's more accurate. So he says he's predicting an early spring, which should make you happy.
It makes me happy, but how do you really know if it's an early spring? Like, what does that even mean? That it hits a certain temperature by a certain date? Like, how does that even get judged? I think it's all a bunch of malarkey, really.
Right. Isn't spring, is that the one that's, what's the first day of spring? March 21st, something like that?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Please hold. Hey, Siri. When's the first day of spring? March 20th.
20th. Okay. We were close. We get points for being close.
Yeah.
All right.
Did this surprise you, Curt? It did not surprise me.
It's about expired food in your refrigerator. And so I rarely look at labels or expiration dates in the fridge. If it's been in there long enough that I would go and say, oh crap, this has been here for a long time, I will check. But in general, it's like, okay, I bought this a week, 2 weeks ago. It's probably fine. But
I feel like with condiments, you lose track of time of when you buy them. And so this is why they're saying it's the most dangerous food in your fridge is the condiments, because, it's like you said, you just go in and kind of, I don't know when I bought this, but it was pretty recently. I'm just going to use it. And they do last for a fairly long time because they do put,
But you might have bought that thing of ketchup a year ago, and it's still in there or whatever. You don't know. So we have for you the 5 most dangerous condiments. That sounds like a great band name.
I'm going to start with number 5, and that's soy sauce. People assume that it will last forever, but you have about a year to use it.
All right. Then mustard was number 4 on the list. That lasts longer because there's more vinegar in it. But once you break the seal, that one also, you got about a year to use it up, which is a long time.
That's the thing about expiration dates. There's like a best used by this date or expires on this date. But once you open it, the time starts ticking, especially like on dairy products. If it might say it expires on, I just had this happen at Pat's house. Expires February 14th, but we opened it probably 3 weeks ago, and I'll tell you what, it smelled bad.
No good. Well, you know what? So the mustard lasts for about a year. Ketchup and barbecue sauce, you've only got about 6 months. And it says keep an eye on the color. Have you ever seen ketchup that's too old? Is it like that dark red?
Yeah.
All right. And here's a couple that I guess
salad
these
dressing.
These have eggs in them, right? So they're dairy-ish.
Well,
salad dressing, which I also thought they last a long, long time. 2 months. toss your salad dressing after 2 months. And mayonnaise has got eggs in it. So once it's been opened, the USDA says it's only good for 2 months as well. Give it the sniff test. We give everything the sniff test.
I don't, not always, not if I assume that it's fine. But I will say salad dressing, I tend to check every time because.
Let me ask you this. If you look at an expiration date and it says it's expired, do you just pitch it then, or then do you do the smell test?
It depends upon how old it is. I usually just pitch it.
Okay. No,
I did the smell test yesterday.
Test
I did the smell test yesterday with the milk because I wanted some milk in my coffee, and a good thing I smelled it first. Now I don't get coffee. It's gross. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully that'll help you out with the big game coming up, so you don't have 2 old condiments and you're getting your people sick.
Okay, so
tell me about this.
Some TikTokers are saying, like the beauty influencers are saying, if you rub this all over your face will look better. And that's all banana peels.
So it's not like exfoliator. It's not like a moisturizer. They're saying rub banana peels all over your face.
And it'll look like you use Botox. That's what they're claiming. But then the experts weighed in, and guess what, guys?
What's that?
Guess what? It doesn't work. It just makes your face smell like bananas. They are good for your skin, but you're better off eating them than rubbing peels on your face.
Unless you want your face to smell like bananas. But this, I've heard something different. And the product to use is not bananas, but bacon.
What?
Give this a listen. There's an actual song about it. The uses of bacon. All right, here we go.
911, what is your emergency?
I nailed my finger to a birdhouse accidentally.
Do you have some bacon?
Bacon?
That's right.
I have bacon left over from dinner last night.
Rub some bacon on it.
What?
On your hand, just do it. Rub some bacon on it.
What if I drop my phone?
Rub some bacon on it.
Or encounter my clone?
Rub some bacon on it.
I get mononucleosis.
Rub some bacon on it.
My nude pics get posted.
Mm-hmm.
Rub some bacon.
Bacon.
Where did you find that song? Did you know about it?
If you don't know this about me already, I really get a kick out of bizarre and weird songs.
Curt.
So I found that one a long time ago. If you're interested, it's called Rub Some Bacon on It. You want to go.
Oh my God.
One. Rub some bacon on it. Not bananas.
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm excited about this next little nugget of information.
We have a little caveat here. We're thrilled when we put up these questions of the day and get a big response. This is far and away the biggest response we've ever got for a question of the day. So I guess the warning is this might take a little while.
But it's worth it. It's totally worth it if you're from the Pacific Northwest. And here's why, because I said this at the beginning of the show, it is like a walk down memory lane. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that place.
Yeah. Again, we asked yesterday, Curt and Jen, question of the day, age yourself with a business no longer in town or around. And let's just start off with Tracy. Tracy saying Jimbo's restaurant. Was it Jimbo's that used to be on the corner of 99 and 196?
Yes, it was, Tracy. Yep. Yes, it was. And I totally forgot about that one. And then Mitch reminded me of Sambo's.
Yeah. I don't know either of those.
Oh, you don't?
About Heather said Pay and Save and Frederick and Nelson.
Yeah. Frederick and Nelson was like basically like the Bon Marché.
Well, Patrick and Heather also pointed out Frederick and Nelson as well. So that's a popular one. And then Michael said Jaffco.
That was the one I talked about on Friday on the show. I love that store because it had the conveyor belt that went through the store, and that's how you picked up your stuff. You ordered it, and then you waited for it to come out on the conveyor belt. It was so cool. How
about Jackie, who said Pizza in Pipes? Now, based on the name, was there like a pipe organ in the place?
Yeah.
I think that's like what it was.
Like giant, big, giant one.
Like a church. Yeah, like a big church pipe organ.
Mega. Yeah. Cool.
Black Angus.
I feel like there actually might still be one or two of those around, I think.
I'm thinking of the one in Linwood, right there off of 5.
That's gone.
Which is also where Chevy's Fresh Mix was. And I like that place too. That's also gone.
The Square Cow Fun Bar is what they called the bar in it. Square Cow Fun Bar.
Wow. Zolanda says, is this next to?
I think so. I didn't recognize that one.
JW Mr. Rags.
Mr. Rags is where it was at, man. I had a Mr. Rags sweatshirt, lavender. Someone stole it.
Wow.
I was so
Look into
mad.
that. Wigwam stores. Corey says, I think the one in Everett closed when I was 4 or 5 years old. What was Wigwam, like a department store?
I think it was more like a variety store kind of.
Okay.
Pay and another Kate said pay and save. Kendra Blockbuster Video. We know that one. Phil said tire retreading companies, Gibson Coal Delivery Company.
I don't remember that one, but
I
you said that Kim said, is it I Magnin?
Yeah, at first I was like, I Magnin. And I'm like, oh yeah, I Magnin. Yes.
All
And then
right, here's another
Marcus,
new one from Erica. Farrell's Ice Cream? Or is it
yeah,
Farrell's? Farrell's.
Farrell's ice cream. Brent said I second pizza and pipes, but also Mitzel's.
Oh,
Honestly,
wow.
Brent, I am so excited that you said Flaky Jake's because I have said Flaky Jake's to a couple people and they're like, I don't remember that one, but it was great. They had like this, it was a burger place and they had a burger topping bar that
Right.
no one else could top. Like they had everything that you could put on top of your burgers.
How about Jason, who said Sea Galley? Ding, ding. If you remember the jingle. Remember the jingle?
We got crab legs. Sea galley, we got crab legs. Sea galley.
Jenny O. Homegrown?
I don't know that. I know
Okay.
Jenny O, and I don't remember homegrown Jenny. I don't remember that one.
Let's do this. Natalie was a loss prevention investigator at Lamont.
I shopped there. I shopped at Lamont. I know what
Wendy
she's
said,
talking about.
is this one place? Clinker Dagger, Bickerstaff, and Pets?
I hope it's one. I don't remember that one, Wendy.
Sounds like a law firm. Matthew said Hollywood Video. There's another one that,
Yeah.
went by the wayside. And Jackie Mervins, who gave her first credit card.
Michael said Meadowdale Chiefs. Now he says that because Meadowdale is my alma mater, Meadowdale High School, and we were the Chiefs and we had the spirit keg and all the things. Well, then they decided that it wasn't good to like idolize Chiefs. So they got rid of Chiefs and the spirit keg and they made them the Mavericks.
Okay. Sherry said Pay and Pack. Vernon was another one for Jimbo's and Dollar Theater.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Greg, what is Ernst?
Ernst is like a little, it was like a little hardware store
Okay.
before the
Lots-
big boxes came around.
Many people said the Bon Marché. Debbie said the Bon Marché. Christy said Bon Marché and the skating rink in Eastmont.
Yeah. Becky
And-
said Shakey's.
There you
Janelle
go.
said Drug Emporium, which I totally forgot about. Maya said Radio Shack and Kmart. And Angela said Olson's. So, and Olson's, I loved Olson's. It was a grocery store. And then QFC bought them out.
And she also put down Woolworths. You had Woolworths?
Yeah.
Scott says the Squire Shop. I've not heard of that.
That's like Mr. Reg's. Kind of
Okay.
like the clothing shop.
Becky, she agreed with me on Friday. I said the Kingdom. But she also said Jungle Gyms in Bellevue.
Yeah.
And then D, a few other people said D and Krista both said J Jacobs.
Yeah, there was a lot of people mentioning JJ because another clothing store. Another clothing store that I worked at that's no longer around it was called Above the Belt. Then it got renamed to Zoomies, and I don't know if Zoomies I think is still around.
Okay. Again, these are things that you're aging yourself with the businesses or places that aren't here anymore. Businesses
I totally
that
forgot about what Kim said. TCBY, and then she said the Key Arena and the Seattle Supersonics. Wah wah.
Stephanie said Mariposa.
That's a clothing store. Living in a state of Mariposa.
And Laurel, the 3GI store. Apparently her husband's dad was one of the 3 owners on Holman Road back in the 50s. And Showbiz Pizza.
I don't know those ones.
I know Showbiz Pizza. Carrie said Tony Roma. Is there still a Tony Roma's? Isn't there?
No, well, not around here. There's not. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that they still exist.
Okay. Good one, Carrie. Bryce also said Pay and Pack. Got most of his hardware there. Now, let's see
Oh,
what Matthew's saying here.
he said his first official job at 14 and a half was a dishwasher at Jimbo's. I lasted 2 weeks and then bolted for the busboy job at Coco's.
Okay.
And then he also mentioned, and you might remember this, Curt, because this one didn't go out of business not terribly long ago. Ed's Outdoor Supply on 196.
Right. Right there in Linwood, right? And he also put down, what about the video game arcade next to the Village Market at 176th and 62nd? He knows all the locations too.
he
These are all
does, and
on corners.
He put down when he mentioned that, Curt, I have to say this, Maple Park Elementary School. It was close to Maple Park. And that's where I went to elementary school, but then it changed to a Christian school, and then I didn't go there.
You seem so bummed out. Then it changed to a Christian school.
It's sad to me. Jenny mentioned Sears, and then there's
Mhm.
Chubby and Tubby that Matt mentioned. Lori
Mhm.
mentioned there's another Frederick and Nelson, which they were famous for their Santa photos and the origin of Frangos. If you didn't
Ooh, that was I
know
thought that was a Bond thing, but it's they started there
No,
at Frederick and Nelson.
Frederick and Nelson was the OG for Frangos.
Jennifer, what's Nordstrom Place 2?
I don't know that one. That one I
All
don't
right.
remember.
Who's
don't
up
know.
next?
Maybe played the turned into the Nordstrom rack. I don't know. I'll have to ask her about that.
Okay.
Human said, Jaffco, Flaky Jakes, Lamont's Earns. Shall I go on, Jen Pirak? He said.
Mhm. Eric has a few. Andy's Diner, Dags, the Jolly Roger. I like this one, Fuzzy Wuzzy Rug Company.
Oh my God. And do you remember Pizza Haven? Did you guys have that where you were at Pizza Haven?
No, that's on here too. Pizza Haven.
Godfather's is another one, even though they have one in Wenatchee still.
Right. Caramel Corn and the Great American Food and Beverage. There you go. Our friend Jim, who used to be an account executive at Star 101.5 when we were back in the Fisher building, he said Fisher Communications, and he's
Yes.
right.
Same with when I started in radio, I actually worked for Gene Autry's company, Golden West. So
Oh,
that's no
wow.
longer, yeah.
Our friend Randy says it doesn't accurately age me, but I miss Dixie's Barbecue, especially Gene Porter, one of the owners, along with Dixie, and The Man. Have you ever seen those T-shirts?
Yeah,
People
because
wear it around?
they were famous for the hot sauce. I
Yeah,
did not know Dixie's
the hot sauce was called The Man, and they had
Yeah.
bumper stickers that were like, saying, "Have you met the man?"
Just a few more. Tara mentioned Jay Jacobs again. Bill, our friend Bill, mentioned Ernst Hardware. Margot mentioned
Margot.
Sambo's. Yep. Go ahead.
TC, the Fish House Charlie's.
That is where I met Dwayne, by the way, for the
Oh, your
first time.
ex-husband.
My ex-husband. Yep.
Brian Gregory has another Herfy's. Miriam said Lamont's and Woolworths at U Village. Shauna put her down for another Mervin's. And then we have Anne, who said Pay and Pack. We're starting to double up a little bit here now.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna. Kim said KXRX. Greg said Pietro's Pizza, which I loved, and Connie Thompson. I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot about Peaches Records.
In the U District, right?
Yeah, and then
Barb-
Susie. I was looking for some other ones that we haven't mentioned before.
Well, Barb said she lived in the Portland area, and part of her childhood was going to Myra and Frank and Montgomery Wards.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Susie said the Italian Spaghetti House and Pizzeria, which used to be down there on Lake City Way. That was good.
Right. What's the Squire? Oh, there's one for the Squire Shop. Okay.
The Squire
Another
Shop
one.
and Mr. Reggs was the same. Jennifer mentioned that. Okay, so there's a few that weren't mentioned.
The
Magnolia
places
High
that-
Five.
How do we, what was the title here again?
What do you mean?
Age yourself for the business no longer in town. Okay. I want to get it right.
So Magnolia Hi-Fi and Video.
Oh yeah. Where was that at? That used to be that now I believe it's inside Best Buy because it used to be its own deal, but now they've got a Magnolia section inside Best Buy.
Well, Magnolia Hi-Fi and Video was its own thing. It's like Best Buy would have been a competitor.
Right. But
they were-
I think somehow when Magnolia either went away or they somehow merged, there's I don't know if it's at all the Best Buys, but certainly in Linwood, when you walk in, the high-end TVs and the
Oh, okay.
$10,000 TVs and stuff
And
from the
then for
Magnolia.
The people that grew up in Linwood might
Hmm.
remember the meat market. It was a restaurant and it was like a higher end, like kind of like a low end fancy steak restaurant, I guess. My
Okay.
grandparents used to take me to it and I loved it because I had soft serve ice cream.
So is it like a step up from the Buzz Inn?
Maybe a tiny bit.
Okay. A couple that I mentioned, and these are also not that long ago, but Icon Grill,
Yep.
right downtown, I think on 5th.
Mhm.
And how do we forget Jalisco? We used to go to Jalisco. The people at the radio station would go to Jalisco on Queen Anne, just south of it's Climate Pledge Arena now, but back then when it was still Key Arena, we go see concerts. I remember
Yeah, but
walking from the station to Jalisco, getting hammered drunk with our music director, Elisa, and then going to see David Bowie at Key Arena. And then calling a cab to go home because that's
Yeah.
what you do.
yeah. So
This
there
is
you
a
go.
fantastic list. If there's anything we forgot, there's still room for you to add yours,
Seriously, and I need to go through those comments and like them. I haven't done that yet, but we've read them, and Kurt and I will both go through and do that. Okay,
don't know
here we
if
go. We got to move on because we're on Zoom, so we've got limited time.
All right.
How can we
How
make
your
a Super Bowl
party
party
can be cheaper.
cheaper? How do we do that, Curt? Tell us.
Well, it's very quick and easy and painful. Basically, what they're saying here is a lot of foods have gone up in price. So, two new reports came out on Super Bowl spending. There's good news and bad news. The big good news is your Super Bowl party can cost less this year, but then you're going to have to rely on things like, non-Super Bowl party foods like broccoli, celery, and cauliflower.
Part of a veggie tray, so that works.
That's not so bad.
On board with
Yeah.
that.
They tracked a bunch of different prices, things that will cost less. Consider this for your Super Bowl party. I already mentioned celery and broccoli and cauliflower. Potato chips are down in price. Frozen shrimp, frozen pizza, tortilla chips, salsa, and nacho cheese. Things that will cost more for the Super Bowl party. I don't think anybody cares about any of this stuff except for chicken wings, beer, wine, and onion dip.
So either invite less people or look for sales or don't throw a party.
All up in price. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You all right with that?
Yep. So if you've ever wondered how much players would make if they, let's just say if they play in the Super Bowl. If you just play in the Super Bowl, and so if you win, it's $171,000. Everybody that plays in the Super Bowl, $171,000 from the NFL, which is up.
And, that's for the winning players, the winning team players.
Yes.
But you're not going to go poor if you lose. The losing team members each get $96,000 apiece.
Yep. Keep going.
Well, okay. All right. There's an example here. There's other things that are negotiated in their contracts. I guess Philadelphia Eagles running back Saquon Barkley is going to get $500,000 if Philly wins. He's already earned $1 million in incentives this season already. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts will get $500,000 per year and a salary bump if Philly wins the Super Bowl. So his salary goes up to $500,000 by $500,000 a year. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes only gets a $1.5 million salary bump if the Chiefs three-peat.
Wow.
Yeah. So keep that in mind, whoever you are pulling for. They're making a lot more money than you are.
All right. Time to talk about TVs. And does size matter?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was waiting for the music. I didn't know what you were doing.
Have you ever gone out and bought a TV just to watch the Super Bowl?
Never.
Okay. I've not either, but I do have some big TVs. So what they're saying is they ask people, if money wasn't an issue, what is the largest TV you'd put in your house? So this is not just for Super Bowl, but I guess all the time. Surprisingly and incorrectly, many people don't think that bigger is better. You like that incorrectly part?
Mm-hmm.
Stop. All right. What do you got?
I wasn't following along. I was just listening to you. Keep going.
Okay. 2 in 10 people said that they won't go bigger than 65 inches for their TV. All right. That was the most popular answer. So that's about 2 in 10 people. About another 20% also said that they would go up to 75 inches. 10% said 85 inches is as big as they go.
How big is the biggest TV you have?
85 inches, the one in the living room when you walk in.
Oh, yeah, that's mega.
And 1 in 10 said 100 inches or more, which is a lot of dollars. I think a lot of US dollars.
A lot of US dollars. All right. Well, now you know it. Size matters when it comes to TVs.
Indeed. I just lost all of our music. So let me do this here.
You lost all of it?
Went off the screen. I had to find it.
How much caffeine should teens have?
How much caffeine should teens have?
Have you ever had my mom would always say, don't drink caffeine because it'll stunt your growth.
I don't think that's true.
Did your mom ever say that? No?
She said a lot of things that weren't true, but yes, it was probably for my own good.
All right. So according to new health guidelines, kids and teenagers between 5 and 18 should never, and they put that in capital letters, never have caffeine. They should also limit their intake of 100% juice and flavored milks and avoid sugar-sweetened beverages and drinks containing artificial sweeteners. Instead, they should drink plain water and milk.
What kids are going to drink nothing but plain water and milk?
Here's the thing. I was going to say this. I will say that my daughter, Macy, that is pretty much all she drinks. Occasionally, she will have a Sprite or a Shirley Temple on special occasion, but that is maybe twice a month at the most that she'll have that. Otherwise, she's always drinking water and milk. That's great. Experts are concerned because a lot of energy drinks have large amounts of caffeine, and too much can cause sleep issues, high blood pressure, anxiety. Caffeine withdrawals adds to its own problems, including headaches. And in extreme cases, kids have actually died from those energy drinks, which I don't doubt. They
Right.
have so much crap in them that are not good for your freaking heart or body.
And it's such a coffee, the influence around here. I mean, kids start drinking coffee at a very early age, more so than I think maybe other towns.
Yeah.
So don't do it.
They say caffeine is a stimulant, and pediatricians say it can impact younger bodies differently than adults, and kids may be less equipped to manage the mental and physical side effects.
Zero caffeine.
Don't let your kids drink caffeine if you can help it. I mean, there's science behind it.
There's science. They're smart. Well, here we are.
Here we are. This is a long one. We had a long stint with all the nostalgia that we went through. So
That did go for a while, yes.
sorry. Our question of the day for tomorrow.
Mhm.
I like this one, and I'm gonna have to look in my junk drawer to answer this. What's the most random thing you have in your junk drawer? The most random thing. I mean, because I've got like tape and scissors and tacks and paper
Right.
clips and safety pins and maybe a screwdriver and a measuring tape, but I will have to look at what the most random thing is.
I think the most random thing in our junk drawer, we have a label maker. I mean, that's pretty common too, I guess, right?
I don't know. Just whatever you think is the most random thing in your junk drawer. We're going to post that on the Curt and Jen in the Morning Facebook page. If you don't already follow that page on Facebook or on Instagram, please do. We would love to have you join us on the socials.
And thanks for listening today and every weekday morning. We love doing the show for you. And thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
Have an awesome Monday. Make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and laugh. Have a good one.